So I'm here with Levi. Uh, That's a good intro. Well, Sam the Pool Man here. Anyways, Sam the Pool Man here. I'm here with my friend Levi, and Levi just had his pool built. It wasn't exactly the smoothest of processes, so I was gonna sit here and just see what kind of experience he had, see how he felt about it, maybe some things that he could have done differently. So tell us how did the project go, and what were some of the stresses that you experienced?
Well, it's our first time doing a pool, so didn't really know exactly how to go about it, but got a few bids and tried to do our due diligence with it, get a feel for the guy, make sure the price was right. And we thought we had kind of found that fit originally, and then it just kind of was sloppy the whole way through from start to finish. He promised a bunch of things in the beginning, which kind of made me a little weary, but he seemed like a genuine guy, and he was in that price range that other guys were in, so it seemed like it was going to be okay. But yeah, just from the get-go, didn't show up when he said he was going to show up. Sent a few guys when they did show up. Most of the guys were working after hours, so I could tell that it wasn't a high priority item on his list. I think I had to babysit him the whole way through it just to get any work out of him. And it was kind of that way just the entire process. You know, I'd refer to you, I'd bounce off of friends that have built pools or are pool builders just to make sure he was doing things right, and he wasn't. So we kind of had to just, once we were in the contract, we had to stick it out. And so we just tried to be really honest with him and straightforward, not have over expectations of what could happen, but realistic based off of the bid. He just kept falling short. So eventually we had to find someone else to finish the pool, which we did. And he kind of did almost the same thing as the first guy, just giving us promises. No, I'll assure you that everything's going to be okay. It's going to go smooth. I understand your situation. We've done hundreds of pools. We know what to do. We made it very clear what we had been through. So just kind of hoping that he would take care of us after that, which he didn't do as well, which is why Sam's here, fixing the problems. But yeah, I mean, it's not, if you're ever going to build a pool, it's not a fun experience, I would say. So you're definitely going to want to find someone that you trust, and someone that's just going to be reliable, right? Someone that's going to show up when they say they're going to show up. You know, have experienced guys on the job, and customer service, I think, is important in any business in the trades, right? That's why we brought Sam on, to be the superhero at the end of the project and wrap it all up for us with a bow.
You have your own company. You run your own jobs, and you're involved in the construction industry pretty heavily for a long time. Yeah. How do you say the way that this played out compares to like your general experience in construction? Is it similar to other things you've seen, or is it kind of exceptional in the amount of struggle you had?
So I work in the wood flooring industry, and you're going to have your bottom of the barrel guys, right? And then you're going to have your really expensive guys, and then your middle range guys. But my experience with the people that we hired was bottom of the barrel. You know, just I was having to lend them equipment from my shop, you know, lend them tools, just random things that you'd think this is what you should have brought to the job, right? So that right off the bat was like, wow, this is not looking good. But yeah, it's just, I think it's really hard in the pool building industry to find good quality people. And I know if I performed the way they performed in my trade, I wouldn't stay in business.
Well, thanks, Levi. I appreciate your sharing your expressions, and we haven't fully pulled them out of the deal yet, so we'll have to like follow up and see if we actually did what we said we'd do. We got some equipment issues. I talked about that. Did they give you any like expectation as far as like how maintaining the pool would go, chemistry, training? Like, was there any preparation for like handing it over to you and having you take care of it? Or
he did mention a few things, but I think if you're a new pool owner and it's your first time, those things just go right over your head. You know, because it's something you've got to learn, right, to maintain it, and then the way the pumps run, and just making sure you don't miss anything. But no, he wasn't thorough with that at all. I mean, I would have hoped to expect kind of, hey, here's your pool, it's clean, it's ready to use. Now here's like a maintenance schedule that you're going to need to follow, and maybe in the first month it's going to be a little more intense because the pool's new. And then as time goes on, you can back off of the maintenance a little bit, and here's what you'll need to do. I know we do that with our trade. I always text people once we're done, hey, here's how you maintain your floor, and here's what not to do, right? Like, don't do this, make sure you don't do that, red flag things. Because when you haven't done it before, you just don't know. So you can overlook something that could be really important, similar to like the plaster, right? If it doesn't get cleaned out right away, that can ruin the plaster. That's an important thing. So it would have been nice if they would have been there through that process, just to kind of send us on our way.
And so, like, I know you said that these guys were, like, they seem pretty legit, like they seem like good people. In the future, if you had to find a pool builder, your next home, build another pool, what do you think you would have done differently as far as contracting somebody, finding help for a job like this?
So with this guy, I did some background checking on him just to make sure he was legit, make sure he had done pools, but there wasn't a lot out there. So I think in the future, I probably would have maybe called a few people that person has built pools for, and just said like, how'd that experience go? And then maybe they'd be like, oh, it went smooth, but watch out for this, that would have been nice. And then I think if he would have had more of like an online presence, social media presence, that tends these days to build trust in people, because if you're putting that content out, that usually means you care a lot about your business, because it takes a lot of work to do that. I think a lot of people don't understand that when they see a business that has a good website, maybe a storefront like you have, social media, something like that. It just shows you're involved in the trade and you care and you're putting that work forward. So I would definitely look at that more. The hard part is with a pool company though too, is you can definitely overpay for a pool. So you might run into those guys as well that have all that. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad experience, because I've heard of that happening as well. So it's a fine line of finding someone that you can trust and reputable.
It's kind of like a little bit of a pirate market when it comes to pool construction. It's like almost playing roulette with your builder. In any case, we'll have a follow-up video in a couple weeks, and we'll make sure that all of this panned out okay, and you're happy with the solutions we gave you. In any case, if you guys are interested in maybe what a reputable builder can do, we're going to have a video coming out next week, that an interview with a builder that's been in the area for 40, 50 years, generational thing. That should help people have an idea of just what they can expect when they vet a good builder. Sorry it didn't work out for you, but at least we got we got some.
We still got a pool, so.
Yeah, we got some social, what it can be, and it's nice to be able to get these stories out there and get some attention on it. So, all right, thanks, man.
All right.
So in reviewing the footage from this interview with Levi, I felt the need to clarify why we conducted that interview, the intent behind it, and why I think it's important. In Levi's case, the issues he ran into, while they were stressful, they weren't fun, it wasn't anything catastrophic. We were able to resolve what he had going on pretty easily. However, I've seen too many times situations where an overconfident and underqualified builder persuaded someone to let them build a pool, to the financial loss and even devastation of the homeowner. And it's an upsetting thing to see. Just imagine someone is of retirement age, they have their nest egg, they have their retirement plan, and they decide that a pool is in the budget. It's a reasonable expense. Yes, it's a little bit of a luxury, but it will also add value to their home. And so they decide, let's build a pool. Very excited. And a pool is just a wonderful addition to your home. Personally, they're my favorite. Not just because I work on them, but I think they're amazing. So you make this decision, You get this contractor, very persuasive, very confident. You contract with them, the pool gets built, and maybe even a couple years down the road, the problems begin to emerge. And in this area, the Texas Hill Country, we recently saw a lot of loss because of improper use of aggregate. The shells were no good. But really, the builders could have, and I think should have, had a process for ensuring that the concrete was good. You should know some basic concrete science if you're going to shoot a pool. And so there was a lot of loss. There are other ways where corners get cut, or maybe the builder just doesn't quite know what's required, and it results in heavy losses for the homeowner. Now, this person who's just incurred this loss, not only do you have the expense of the pool, maybe it's financed, but you have to tear out the old structure. Now, that's a new expense because this pool is condemned. How are you going to sell the property until you remove it? Now, you can imagine how that might affect someone's retirement projection. It can affect them for the rest of their lives. It will affect their inheritance to their children and grandchildren. And so I just wanted to bring awareness. This is a thing, it happens. And there are things that you as a homeowner can do to vet your builder. Not very complicated. I just want to list a few things, as far as I can see it, that will give you a higher chance of success, a much higher chance of success with your project. Do they have proof? Have they been in the industry for some time? Can you tell from their media, their pictures, their just the website, the Google listing? All of this tells you if they've been in the game for some time, right? Guys will just start up, do a thing, and disappear. Fly-by-nighters. You don't want that. Also, there are associations. I'll list a couple. The Pool and Hot Tub Association. There's Genesis. There are a couple others, but Genesis and the PHTA are our associations. And if they're part of an association, that indicates that they are at least interested in best practice in the industry, right? They're getting communications, they're reviewing information. There are certifications that a builder can get. These require class time. They require passing an exam. When a builder has a certification, it lets you know that they know what's best practice for pool construction. They know how to carry out a successful project, and they know where all the common pitfalls are. And believe me, there are more than enough of those when it comes to a pool. And it comes at I'll say, significant expense and effort. It's not like going to university for 4 years, but these are people running businesses that take time out to learn how to do things properly. Just that will tell you a lot. Have they pursued this education? Do they care about how to do things the right way? And then, of course, there's reputation in the community. Hopefully, soon, we'll have an interview up with a home builder, not a home builder, a pool builder in our community who operates in the Texas Hill Country, who has a long history and a very good reputation for building solid, beautiful, lasting pools, built to the highest standard. And I'll tell you, he has all of those things, right? He's got the proof, he's got the certifications, he's in the associations, he has awards. All of that tells you something. And undoubtedly, because of that, it's going to cost a little more. But please, just if you take anything from this video, it's that we want you to have a successful and happy experience. I think a nice pool is just a beautiful thing. But don't be blind to the unscrupulous activities and the empty promises of probably not people deliberately going out to harm you, but just overconfident individuals. They just are way too confident. Pools are complex structures. They're very technical, and any cut corner will show up. and will be a solid expense. In any case, we wish you all the best and a happy new pool.